What's up, guys? It's Jensen. So we're about at the midway point of this NFL season, and for me personally, no doubt the biggest disappointment has been the Cleveland Browns. I really bought into the hype this year, guys, along with many other analysts. I really thought they would win the AFC North and win a playoff game and maybe be even in the AFC Conference Championship game. But hasn't really panned out this year. Browns have been an absolute disaster at 2-5. We can all see it with our own eyes. It's been penalties, it's been turnovers, it's been poor execution, poor play calling. It's been failure all around for the offense, the defense, and the special teams. But this hot take, it's really hard to believe in right now. Really leaves a bitter taste in my mouth because I know there's a good chance I'd be dead wrong, but I still have that leap of faith. I'm going to take this leap of faith. I'm going to say that the Cleveland Browns are going to make the AFC playoffs. And I know it's very hard to believe watching the Cleveland Browns. If an alien just came down from Earth from the first day of the NFL season and they didn't know anything about the Cleveland Browns and they watched until up to right now, they would say the Cleveland Browns are one of the worst football teams in the NFL. And they're not wrong. Through 7 weeks, they've been one of the worst football teams in the NFL. That defense is not showing up. Let's make that very clear. I really thought this defense would really turn it up this season. They had Myles Garrett. I really thought he could be a defensive player of the year candidate. Olivier Vernon was a nice piece they acquired from the Giants. And they have Denzel Ward, a shutdown corner. I like their selection of Greedy Williams in the second round of the draft. And I really thought these guys would come together and create a lockdown unit, shut down the teams week after week. So far, that's not been the case. And it's not just been the good offensive teams. They give up 43 points in week 1 to the Marcus Mariota Tennessee Titans. That's hard to believe. I was very shocked when I saw that score line, but I thought that might have just been a fluke. But it's continued throughout the season. We're talking about, in recent weeks, 31 points to the San Francisco 49ers, 32 points to the Seattle Seahawks, and 27 points to the New England Patriots. I really expected more out of the Browns defense. I know those are good teams, but still, when you have Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward. Denzel Ward should be picking off guys every game. Myles Garrett should be getting multiple sack games almost every game with the type of talent they have on this defense. So far, it hasn't panned out. But I'm going to give the defense the benefit of the doubt. It's a soft schedule going down the stretch, as we know. I think the defense is going to step it up. The offense, though, that's been the real disappointment this year, for being honest. Coming into the season, I thought Browns would be a top 5 offense. Baker Mayfield coming into this year after a successful rookie year in that final stretch of games where he really got hot. And then they had Odell Beckham Jr. I really thought that he would be a dynamic option for the Cleveland Browns. To combine with Jarvis Landry already being there, Nick Chubb out of the backfield, Kareem Hunt, even though he was on suspension for about 10 weeks. But, through his first 7 weeks, it's been pretty awful. You could see the fumbles, the interceptions. It's just been an absolute disaster. The one play I look at was that in that Patriots game, when Baker Mayfield throws a shovel pass and the defense end somehow picks it off. It's been completely fluky. It hasn't been just bad decisions by Baker Mayfield. But, Baker Mayfield's been bad. Twice as many interceptions as touchdowns this year. A lot of the blame goes to Freddie Kitchens as well. He's made some questionable play calling, in my opinion. I go back to a couple weeks ago, that third down play. It was like 3rd and 9, and they call an HB draw, and they didn't get near the first down marker. That was a very questionable call. Freddie Kitchens has made some terrible calls. He seems to be overwhelmed in his second season. But, this hot take really goes down to Baker Mayfield. I really believe in this guy. He really performs best when the odds are stacked against him. Walking on to Oklahoma, nobody would have thought he would have been a Heisman Trophy winner. And he did that. Coming out of Oklahoma and being the number 1 overall pick for the quarterback-hungry Cleveland Browns. Some people are doubting if he could be an NFL quarterback with this type of attitude, his lack of size. He proved all those skeptics wrong with his performance last year. And, I mean, let's not forget, he got very hot towards the end of the season last season. I feel like something similar could happen this season for Baker Mayfield. I feel like the offense is going to take over. They're going to be the dynamic unit we were all hoping for that we would see in this first 7 weeks. I mean, you look at their schedule. I mean, they have 2 major tests early on. They have the Denver Broncos at Denver. If Baker and the Browns could win that game, I really think that they can really make a statement there where it's like, we're not dead yet. I feel like they can really have a statement win there. And then they go at home to face the Buffalo Bills, who have been a very solid team. They were my sleeper team this year. If Baker can really, silence the critics with a great game against the Buffalo Bills defense, that has been amazing this year. They've been very underrated. No one's really talked about them. Then, I mean, it's a pretty easy schedule in my opinion. I mean, we're talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't believe in Mason Rudolph. I don't believe in the Pittsburgh Steelers at all this year without Roethlisberger. And then, I mean, the Miami Dolphins. Fitzmagic is real, but the Dolphins are not real. Let's make that very clear. They're not going anywhere this season. And then they play the Steelers again. And then the Cincinnati Bengals. Nobody believes in the Cincinnati Bengals. Andy Dalton, I mean, he's okay. He's not great. Nothing really to talk about with the Cincinnati Bengals. They're just dysfunctional. And then they play the Arizona Cardinals. That could be an upset game. Kyler, I mean, he's looked pretty good this year. I mean, there's been some struggles, but Cardinals could certainly pull off an upset. But make no mistake, that's a game you would expect Cleveland to win. And then the one game I think they'll lose is against the Baltimore Ravens. I don't think Lamar Jackson and the Ravens are going to lose twice. So I'll put an L there for them. But then they play the Bengals again. That should be a win. My projection would have them at 10-6. I mean, it's a risky projection. I mean, it might look optimistic at this point with all the fumbles, the penalties. I mean, it's been tough to watch the Cleveland Browns. Even when they've made stops, when they played good football, it's been, if they stop them on 3rd down, it's a holding penalty or it's a passer interference. If Baker Mayfield makes a big-time completion, oh, wait, no, it's coming back because, it's another holding penalty. It's always something with the Cleveland Browns this year. It's been pretty rough. But I believe in Baker Mayfield. That's what this take comes down to. Kareem Hunt will give them some extra explosion, which the Browns might need. I mean, the offense has kind of lacked in juice this year, which is kind of surprising considering that they have Nick Chubb, Odell Beckham Jr. But, this take comes down to Baker Mayfield. I think their record's going to be 10-6. I think that the Indianapolis Colts will also be at 10-6 with Houston winning the division. I already think Buffalo's going to be a playoff team. I have them at 11-5 at this point. But I think Cleveland's record within their own division will be better than Indianapolis's record in their own division. Because you got to keep in mind, they got to play the Houston Texans. I mean, the Tennessee Titans, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Each one of those teams could potentially beat the Indianapolis Colts. Meanwhile, you got the Cleveland Browns in the weak AFC North, where you have the Mason Rudolph-led Steelers and the Andy Dalton-led Bengals. No one believes in those teams. I mean, and even with Cleveland struggling this much, no one expects them to, other than a select few people, no one really expects them to drop those games. So, leaves a bitter taste in my mouth right now. It's been anything but perfect this year for the Cleveland Browns. But don't fear Cleveland. I think you've got your franchise quarterback. He's going through a little bit of struggles right now. He's going to come through for you guys. And Cleveland Browns are going to be in the playoffs. I think it's going to be an exciting time in Cleveland. And they could make a run. They could be a very dangerous 6th seed with the potential to win the Super Bowl, maybe. But first they got to get into the playoffs, and I think they'll get a wild card spot. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been fun. I'll be providing you with more NBA and NFL hot takes throughout the season. Please like and subscribe. And it's been fun, guys. And we're going to be doing this more and more as the season goes on. And have a good day.